IEM Krakow playoffs starting in couple of days tomorrow. Uh, yeah, 6 teams left. First big event of the season. Something that I kind of when I look back at this event, this was supposed to be obviously Katowice. They kind of duplicated everything and went to Krakow, the same hall, the same kind of vibe, and whatnot. So it felt like it was the same event. It was just the quality was of the teams was something that I didn't really like, to be honest. But I don't blame the players. I don't blame the teams. It's just the state of CS right now. There is a massive gap between the elite teams, the ones that you see in the bracket, and a couple of more, and the other teams. When you look at the stage one, it was super boring games. Nothing really to be excited about. I know I was watching like most of them on my stream and on Serbian stream, and it wasn't really particularly entertaining for even somebody who knows what they're watching, let alone for casual people that are watching from home that don't really have a general idea about a high level competitive CS. So I think right now that's the result of the organizations that were basically messing up with the market by inflating the prices and like overpaying for stuff, and now we see the consequences of all of that. We have elite teams with elite players, and that is then creating like a huge gap between those teams and the teams that are supposed to be up and coming, and the teams that are supposed to be providing the new talents and everything else like it was in the past. But this is not one of the subjects today. I just mentioned it because like it was an introduction into the Krakow and the whole like not introduction, but more so like description of how it went for the first couple of stages. Now we can get into the results and everything. Obviously, the bracket between in front of you is the one that is going to be played in throughout the weekend. It's Furia against Aurora in the quarterfinal number one. The winner of that is going to the semifinals to face Spirit, who was basically behind Vitality, the best team, even though with the two new additions and the shaky start of the season and whatnot, they were clearly behind Vitality, the best performing team in Krakow. Second quarterfinals, one of my favorite teams to watch right now, even though there I see problems and I see a lot of things not working out and a lot of inconsistencies, is G2 against MOUZ, who eliminated Falcons in that very last game of the regular part of the event before the playoffs of the group stage. You know how they beat them to overtimes, and then Falcons again choking the retakes and all. It's just a mess. And then winner of that is facing Vitality. Vitality, the best team in the semi so far. They managed to even play to even sneak in the casual ancient against Aurora to qualify. They won like 25-22, where Zaibu drops like a 53 frags. And all outside of that close game, I mean, for me, they have been super dominant in this event. They seem to be super prepared more than any other team. And whoever faces them in the semis is going to have a tough job, and whoever faces him in the best of five is going to have even tougher job, even if it's going to be a Spirit by most calculations and most predictions and eye tests that show that these two teams should be in the final. uh, Whoever faces them is going to have a really hard time based on the group stage. Obviously, we are now heading into the playoffs, and the first game we're going to obviously talk about is the Furia against Aurora. Now, Furia struggled, and that's something that I have been talking about for last 2 months, ever since the drama and the drama with Fallen. I remember that, and obviously them dropping out from major quarterfinals against Navi, and then struggling in Blast, and now they played not such a great tournament, but what's positive about it, I'm not going to sit here and bash Fury. It's not a video about that. It's about the event. Even though the positive thing, even though they've had a rough start, losing to Foot, immediately the lower bracket, they played against three teams that are similar quality right now, ish, and they won 2-1, both all three times. You see, Mongols won their map pick. And then Furia lost their map pick against Navi on Inferno, which was very kind of surprising for me. And then they lost opponent's map pick on Overpass, which was also a surprise to me, considering that Overpass was one of the stronger maps for Furia in the last part of the 2025. We're so strange to say last part of 2025. I still feel like it's super, it's super crazy that it's 2026. But anyway, they managed to get themselves to the playoffs by defeating all these three teams. As Charles outside of that map, they won on Overpass. They had no chance against Furia in both maps. Navi was, ish, and then Mongols were the only real team that could eliminate them. It was 12-10 on the second map. Then Mongols called something crazy 2 times in a row. They lost the overtime and they got demolished on the very last map. Now they're facing Aurora. Aurora, the team that nobody expected much anymore. I think that kind of helped them, no? Because there is no more pressure for them to, do crazy things, because the community kind of got just outside of their own, obviously, kind of gave up on them. And Meyer played a little bit better, well, a lot better than he was in the past. And they had some nice wins in the, in this event. If you look at the stage one, they beat Gamer Legion easily. They beat Pain easily. They lost to Parivision. In a specific match, they beat Falcons, MOUZ, and they lost to Vitality in the second stage, right? Or the main stage, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know these days what's the correct thing to say. But against Vitality, they had no chance. I mean, you lose Ancient, the map they don't play, that qualifies like a bad thing to me. And then on Overpass, it was 8-4 on the first half, and then 8-7, and then 37 or something, right? Let's see. Yeah, 13-7, 8-4, and then the Turks took 3 rounds, and then it was 5 in a row for. So it was a clear and decisive win for Vitality. They deserve to be in the semis, but Aurora played a decent game, and they deserve to be in the quarters as well, because they beat 2 teams of this caliber. They beat Falcons, eliminated them, and they beat MOUZ in the opener. So for me, that's a statement from them on this event, and they deserve to be in the quarters. So if we go there, this is going to be a very unpredictable game, in my opinion. Now, for me, this is like 50-50. Simply because Furia, they know how to play now on stage. It's not really an unfamiliar territory for them. So there is no, fear of or worry about like them not performing on the stage and somebody underperforming or getting scared or something, right? On the other side, we have Aurora, who doesn't feel any pressure anymore. And they also, like, they used to struggle on playoffs, but they did feel like they are playing with a little bit less pressure. Let's say it just like that. So that maybe propelled them. That may propel them to kind of have a decent game. For me, this is a Furia win, sadly, even though I would be cheering for Aurora. But I think Furia has more quality, and individuals on Furia will handle handle pressure a little bit more, a little bit better than Aurora when it comes to that stage. Even though there shouldn't be any crazy pressure, I think Furia will handle themselves. And obviously the difference maker in this matchup is one guy, that's Molodoy, who has been a hard carry for this Furia team. Even though Serato is a player that is a top 20 player that deserves a lot of respect, and for his game and his commitment to the Furia project and everything, loyalty and everything that comes to it. So you shouldn't really write that off. And the advantage is definitely for me in Furia when it comes to maps. It can go either way. I think that Aurora will obviously go for Anubis. Let's see, Furia. What was their? Let's see, matches. Astralis, Navi, Mongols. Nice. Furia Ancient, Furia Ancient, Furia Ancient. They still don't play Ancient. And then Aurora will pick Anubis. Furia maybe go for Overpass. And the decider can go either way. Mirage maybe Inferno, I don't know. But Furia for me has the clear advantage. Not clear, but some advantage here. So I would only putting them in the semifinals here. and then we'll talk about that semifinals after we after we finish with the G2 and MOUZ. So G2 and MOUZ for me now. Everybody is now including Maui and then a couple of more guys that I talked to and had a show with. We had they seem to be believing in MOUZ somehow again. MOUZ is doing that trick again where they make you believe in them and that they suck in the playoffs, and I think that's what's going to happen now as well. Now I don't know if it's going to happen against G2 or Vitality, but it's going to happen. Obviously they have a decent chance of beating G2, but G2 is not a team that you can write off, especially if you remember I think it was in the Serbian podcast that we did, where Hunter was obviously talking about how his players are way better individually and way more hyped individually when they're on the stage rather than in the group stage environment, like a studio thing. So now going on the stage, I don't even know the name of the stage. Obviously, in Katowice, it's Spodek, but right now I don't know where it's going to be held. But people are going to come there, nonetheless. And 7 o'clock Friday, it's after work, it's after school, so there should be people there. That's a good thing for G2. When it comes to their form, it's pretty similar. MOUZ kind of struggled, but for me, they look like a dead team. And I said that in a hot take point made podcast. They look like a dead team that one guy, I don't know who, is trying to kind of keep it together while everyone else is, already checked out in a sense that they are ready for changes. The only guy who is kind of energetic there is Torji and a little bit Xertion, but everybody else will kind of, and that's only when they're winning. When they're losing, everybody's quiet, which I hate. That's the worst thing. But again, they have been playing together for a long time, and maybe it's time for them to like kind of shuffle things out after this event or before the major or something, or maybe after this season. I don't know who is trying to keep them together, but nonetheless, it doesn't look good for me. Even though they beat Falcons, Falcons are a terrible team. We're going to do a video about them, and that's a completely different subject. Now, when it comes to G2 again, Hunter had a pretty good stage one, had a terrible game against who was it in the last game they played? They're supposed to win against Spirit, I think. Yeah, matches. Yeah, it was Spirit. Where they had them on the ropes. If you look at the last map of Hunter, he dropped like 5-6 kills. Yeah, 623. And then I talked to him a little bit. Sometimes like those things happen, and especially when a new hybrid IGL takes the role, the Spirit is not a team to joke about. Is a strong team, very full of heavy hitters in a sense. And I don't think like that's a bad thing. If it keep happening all the time, like that would be another subject. But from time to time, is allowed to happen. What I told them in a private conversation, I told them pretty much, listen, it's better for this thing to happen right now when it's not an elimination game, when it's just for the spot in the playoffs, in the sense that quarter or semis, rather happens there where you're not eliminated, and then you can get it out of the way and then keep playing in the playoffs. So and he agreed completely. And then coming into these quarterfinals, I don't think they're gonna feel like underdogs at all. I think they're gonna feel like an equal opponent to MOUZ, and I think they are. They have a lot of people that can shoot really hard. I think they have a lot of people that are not scared of taking fights. I don't think they are structurally better team than MOUZ right now, because for that it will take him another maybe 6 months. They still have a lot of gaps in their game, and on both sides, CT and T as well. I see a lot of misplays and a little bit micro decisions that are not really correlating with what your teammates are doing, and not really like it's not really in line with the whole round. So, but those are the things that are getting fixed over time, and I'm sure So is smart enough to notice that as well, and fix them in the future. So this will be a 50-50 game again for me. Because we're going to have two good quarterfinals. 50-50 game. I'm going to give the advantage to G2 simply because of that stage, pressure kind of thing. The maps, I honestly don't know where MOUZ tends to go. Maybe Inferno, because they seem to be like playing. They picked it against Falcons. G2 likes to go for Dust 2 lately, which has been a bad map for MOUZ. Not a bad, but weaker map for MOUZ, and the decider can go anywhere. Mirage probably, So it should be a very entertaining match at least, no matter who are you cheering for. Even though most of you are going to be cheering for G2, I know people in Serbia will. Now, in coming to the semis, Spirit against Furia in my calculations, but whoever they face, Furia or Aurora, Spirit is going to walk away with an easy victory there. I don't think none of these teams right now, considering their form and individuals, can match the Spirit's form and individuals. Simply as that. There is no further analysis. There is no, going in depth about this and that. It's just the raw skill and really big difference, and a clear difference between those things and in those two teams is what's gonna give the victory to Spirit. And I do think that like Spirit is hungrier right now than any of those teams in the whole playoff right now, including the other side of the bracket. They want to win events. The events there's Zontix wants to prove, even though he had a crazy bad games in this event, but he recovered as well, and then he wants to, I think, prove that he can still do it. Magix has something to prove. Magix has something to prove as an IGL, and most of all, who is super hungry for the victory is Donk. Like he even said it himself that he wants to, destroy everyone in 2026 in his Telegram post or something. And I think he's going to do it. He's gonna, they're gonna stroll through to these semifinals, getting into the grand finals, and that's where they're gonna meet Vitality. Now in that second semifinals, I don't think there is a team right now outside of Spirit that can maybe challenge Vitality in a best of three. Specifically said a best of three. Best of five is another matter. Best of three, I don't think they can match them. G2 or MOUZ. MOUZ is not gonna beat them. Then G2 might surprise them on a map, but Vitality is still looking super strong. So I think Vitality is gonna go into in the finals here, and we're gonna have a good finals. I think we're gonna have a good finals on Sunday on 5 o'clock. In a best of five, where we're gonna have two best teams of the event for, in my opinion, Spirit and Vitality, and it's gonna be one of the more entertaining finals that we watched lately. Because if that happens, obviously, we're gonna have both superstars in Donk and Zaivu performing well throughout the whole event, even though Donk had a couple of, I remember that overpass game where he was like kind of bad. He started 0-7 and then 5-12, and then he recovered a little bit, but overall he did deliver a more than a solid performance. On the other side, Zaivu, I don't even need to, I'm just gonna show you, like, where is it? Let's do it like this. In the last game against Aurora, I mean, it was crazy. 76-36, like rounds pick +8. Like it's crazy, 178, 3.0 rating. Yes, they did play a bunch of rounds here. They basically played 2 maps. They also basically played 3 maps overall. But still, like these kind of stats are crazy, and I do think that he is going to be the one delivering this title for Vitality. That's where we come to the grand finals. I do think in a best of five, there has been only 2 teams that defeated Vitality in a best of five. It was G2 and Furia in IEM Shanghai last year. But Furia didn't look so good, and not Furia, but Vitality didn't look so good, and Furia was in the peak of their form. And obviously, that victory for G2 was when G2 played crazy good. The Heavy Gods was just unbelievably good. Now the form is on Vitality side, which is more scary than anything else, because they're the ones with the best individuals, with the top 5 players, multiple top 5 players, top 6, whatever the claim is, number 6 or something. But so they have the best tanker, they have Robs, they have it's just a roster filled with superstars that are in form at the beginning of the year, which is pretty good. Now they skipped Blast for a reason. We saw Parivision win it. They didn't play, and then they dominated here in this in this event. I think they might finish the playoffs without a lost map. I think that might happen. If I could put money on it, I would probably put money on it, because let's see these results. They played 3 games. PC didn't get the double digits. 3D Max didn't get the double digits, and the only the team that got into double digits was Aurora on the map that with Vitality never plays. It's a permaban for them. So that gives you a clear picture of current form on this event for all of these teams. For me, the clear winner is Vitality. Should be a good weekend, guys. I think I'm gonna finish with this one, and then if you have any ideas what content would you like, I'm gonna post this on my YouTube channel, and you make sure you like and do whatever you want to do. But and if you have any ideas, just post it in the comment section. I'm feeling kind of bored these days when it comes to content. I'm streaming a lot on Serbian though. But if you have any ideas what you want to see, just let me know, and I'll see if we can make it happen. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy the good CS, and may Furia lose. See ya.